So I'm out here again, recording a video on my balcony on the center of town, and I'm not gonna lie, it's cold as fuck right now. As you can see, when I do that, there's fucking air. You can see the air. It's cold. It feels like shit right now, but I still need to record this video. So today we're gonna talk about being uncomfortable and why you should deliberately become uncomfortable and how that helps you. What is the point? I'm not gonna give you some generic advice. What I've noticed over the past few videos that I've made is that you guys seem to prefer when I talk about personal experiences and relating that to what I've lived in the past rather than fully focusing on giving you straight up advice, because I'm a young man. I'm not necessarily an older guy that you would like to take advice from. So if you think I don't have the credibility because I don't have the life experience compared to somebody who's 30 or 40, then in that case, this is what I'll do. I'll relate my current video, the video of this one, and the next videos that I'll be posting. Since I post every single day to this channel, I'll make sure that every single video has a sort of a story or sort of a link back to something that I've done or experienced, so that way you can be like, okay, this actually makes sense. I can actually see that. It's kind of like painting a mini movie inside of your own mind. You can see yourself doing it. Relate. So, as you can see, I'm standing here, sitting on this balcony here. It's fucking cold, it's wet, it's humid, feels like shit, but I still gotta record this video, okay? Doesn't matter. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about being uncomfortable and how that helps you today. So, before, I used to live in, for context, I started my journey 4 years ago, was living in France, been living in France for the past 20 odd years, and never really done anything significant, valuable, or meaningful in my own life. I was always just playing video games or chilling out at home, eating shit food from time to time, but I was still just the kid that wanted to be perfect in everything that he did. Like, I used to be the kind of guy that would drink energy drinks to get better at competitive games online, which is quite funny now that I think about it, because that has completely transitioned into my business life and my business approach. So over the past 4 years, I've built my own business. I've started dating a bunch of women. I've started making my own money. I don't need to work a job anymore. I'm starting to build my own foundation of my own life, what that's going to look like in the future. I've relinked with family. I've improved my bonds with them and the people I care most about. I'm improving my network here. I'm meeting lots and lots of people, talking to many people. And when I compare that to before, where I was this introverted, shy kid that would just play video games all day at home, the difference is quite substantial. Like, I can't really feel the difference personally, but every single time I meet somebody from my past life, like somebody who knew me before, like who I was before, like my parents, or if I talk to my parents, my family, my siblings, I don't have any siblings, but my cousins or whatever, and maybe friends that I had in the past, they're like, damn, like, you've made a lot of fucking progress. Like, this is amazing. Like, I can't even almost not tell it's you. Like, it was like, what the fuck? So, how did I get to this point? Well, very simply, I sought out the most uncomfortable position, the most uncomfortable state that I could be in, where I would be forced to adapt and grow as an individual. Now, 2 years ago, I decided to sell all of my stuff. The stuff that used to make me comfortable, I sold all of it. I had this whole gaming setup. I had this whole 3 monitors, chair, like headset, keyboard, mouse, big desktop PC, all this sort of stuff. Sold everything for the most part. And decided to take that money and buy a plane ticket to go to New Zealand and start over there, because I have the benefit of having some family over here. My dad was born here, so his side of the family is over here, which is where I am now in New Zealand, Auckland. And right now, basically what I've done over the past 2 years is I've had to force myself to improve my skills from nothing to something. Because the first 2 years, because I said my journey was 4 years, and I only took the plane ride like 2 years ago. So the 2 years before I took the plane basically was focused on figuring out how can I improve myself? How can I change? How can I get better? And then I started going to the gym. I started improving on my skills. I started learning a high income skill online. I learned from a bunch of people. I started networking, signing up to a bunch of courses, understanding how the world works. For the first 2 years, that's basically what I did. And what I did after that was sit down and think to myself, okay, what can I do? And that's when I found out, okay, I'm going to take the plane, I'm going to go over to New Zealand, and I'm going to figure it out. So not only did I switch completely from speaking French all the time to speaking English completely fluently, to also had to force myself to speak to business owners, to get better at talking to people, to communicating whatever I wanted, whatever I needed to happen, and getting people, and basically not only getting better at marketing, but also getting better at selling myself, but also helping people, providing that service that I'm actually selling now to those businesses. So for a bit of context, my business is a B2B, so a business to business, and we sell services to businesses to basically help them acquire more customers, acquire more clients, more bottom line, more revenue, more money. And by doing that, I have to understand the people that they are selling to, and I have to understand them on a personal level, so that way I can sell to them and they think, okay, this actually makes sense. I should go with this guy and not this other guy over here. So that's basically what I've been doing over the past 2 years. Now, when I look at everything in perspective, I haven't spent that much time, but I've done so many things every single day that the amount of things that I've done over the past 2 years equates to the amount of things a regular person working a 9 to 5 would have done over the course of like 5-10 years. Because since I was able to not need to work a job, I was able to stretch out my time much more and condense the time as much as possible. Every day, basically, I was thinking to myself, how can I do something that makes me uncomfortable to grow as an individual? And then I would do that. Just do that. Boom, 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 boom. Every day. Just boom. Wake up, go cold approach some businesses. Every single time I see a beautiful woman on the street that I would like to date, I go up to her and say, hey, you're really pretty. I would love to take you out to grab a coffee or something. Give me your number. And basically, just did that over and over and over again. And just either fucking it up and failing a bunch of times, or learning from my mistakes, or succeeding. And just repeating it over and over and over and over again. And by just doing that, I was able to transcend who I was before and to become this much more extroverted, confident, knowledgeable, expert, professional guy that everybody thinks I am now. Now, most people, when I approach them now, most businesses, when I talk to them, they think I have like 10 years of experience. Like I talk to people and they say like, I told them, how old do you think I am? And they say like, oh, you look 28, 29, I don't know, 30. And I talk to them and I say, I'm actually 23. And they're like, what the fuck? What are you talking about, bro? And it's so surprising because I'm so well put together. Like, I dress right, I take care of myself, I groom myself, I go to the gym, I eat good food, I take care of my health, I take care of the people I love, and I am a professional when it comes to working with other people. That's usually what you learn and you understand when you hit the age of 30, 35, 40. So since I've managed to learn from people who are older than I am, mentors, guides, people that have more experience than I have, I've learned directly from them, and I've taken their knowledge and I've applied it to myself, and I've taken it, gone out into the world, tested it, and applied it to my own approach. And so by the simple fact of doing that, I was able to become this person that I am today, sitting in front of this camera, right? Well, iPhone, since I'm recording on my phone. But basically, why am I saying all of this? And how does it tie back to being uncomfortable? And how that helps you grow as an individual? The one thing I've noticed is that growth lies through an uncomfortable position. It's kind of like when you are in a pitched battle, one army against another. If you ever played a fucking strategy game, if you have a pitched battle and you have one army against the other, there's always this moment of tension before the two armies clash together, right? And what I've noticed is that this is the same exact principle that I've used in my own life. But instead of having an enemy army in front of me, there's a problem. This is the problem. This is the situation that makes me uncomfortable. And so by simply committing and just facing that and just boom, 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 defeating it, either I fail and then I learn from fucking it up, or I succeed and then I push past that roadblock and I face on the next challenge. Because by just repeating that over and over and over and over and over again, I'm able to improve my skills so much that I don't need to have 10, 20, 40 years of experience to be good at something. I could just adapt quickly. And so, if you've never done this, you don't know what I'm talking about probably. But if you've already done this at some kind of degree, you can understand how fast and how quick the human mind has to adapt in order to survive. And so by combining the fact that I went to a completely different country, completely different language, completely different culture, and had to completely create myself, learn things, understand things, set up bank account, set up passport, set up this, set up that, understand what kind of food can I buy from the store, how do I make my money, how do I do this, how do I talk to these people, how do I do that. By doing that, it forces my mind to adapt and grow and expand to an extreme degree. It's kind of like shoving somebody in a box and forcing them to get out of the box on their own accord, or else in X amount of time they're going to die. The human mind will go to extreme lengths in order to survive and adapt. And so I used that to my advantage in order to put myself in an uncomfortable position that allowed that growth to happen. I cold approached businesses. I walked up to businesses. I remember at the very start, I went into the central business district and I walked around for an entire day and I talked with probably like 10, 20, maybe like 30 businesses. I walked in there and I said, hey, this is what I do. My name's so-and-so. I do this. Would you be interested in having a chat together about it? Like maybe you were looking at it. Maybe you were looking forward to doing this. And I was just thinking maybe you could have a chat with me about it, see what we can do together. And I think I got rejected like fucking over like 20, 40, 50 times, 100 times. And then one guy said, you know what? I was actually looking for somebody like that. And then boom, first client. Super easy. So that's basically what you need to do again and again and again and again and again. And this just gave me a super interesting idea, actually, that I'm going to be able to replicate for my business, because I haven't done that in a long time, actually. So maybe that's actually a good time to start doing that. Good thing to think about. Funny how you just start speaking about things and then you're like, wait, that's an interesting idea that I could try right now. So yeah, always facing an uncomfortable position in your life is where the growth resides. It's where you can be better as a character, become better as an individual. It's like going to the gym. If you want to get stronger and better at the gym, you need to slowly increase the amount of weight or the amount of reps that you do. Otherwise, you're never going to grow. You're always going to stay the same. You need to progressively overload yourself. Because if you never do that, you're never going to get stronger at the gym. You're never going to be able to lift more weight. It's very simple. It's a very simple principle of science that I've noticed for myself. So that's basically what I wanted to share with you guys. Make you understand this is what I've done in my own life. Giving you a couple examples, a little bit of my backstory, what does that look like? And if you have any questions about it, feel free to ask them in the comments. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm happy to help any of you guys out if you need some amount of help, some amount of specific, like tailored recommendation, if you have a specific case or anything that you would like help on. You might feel a bit uncomfortable asking some questions, but you need to understand that this is where you get better. By asking me questions that you are uncertain about, you get to grow from the lessons I've learned. Instead of just figuring it out on your own, which you can do if you want, like it's just gonna take more time, you can just ask me. I'm sitting right here in front of you. I'm 24/7 available. Well, not 24/7, but I'm available and I will respond within 24 hours every single time somebody asks me something. If you leave a comment, if you leave a like, or you subscribe, something, I will always do my best to say, hey, I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to do that. And here's another piece of value, a piece of information that I would like to share with you, thanks to your support. To thank you for your support. And I don't really know if this channel is going to grow or not. I don't care. The point is, if I can have just 1 or 2 additional people, that just means the world to me. Because by the simple fact of helping 1 or 2 additional people, and you guys have 1 or 2 additional people or more, then in that case we can just start helping a bunch of people and we get the butterfly effect going, and then there we go. So even though we might be around 180 subscribers, and I started posting maybe 4.5 months ago, 5 months ago, back to this channel, because I used to post a long time ago, but I started reposting every single day for the past couple months, and honestly it's been going pretty good. I'm actually a bit surprised, but I know it can be better. It can always be better. We can always do better in our own lives in every sort of way. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. If you don't want to do that, I don't really care. It's completely up to you. No judging. And to be perfectly honest, thank you. And it's a beautiful day. As you can see, there are no clouds behind me. So it's time to get back to work. I'm gonna go pick up my suit from the dry cleaners, put on the suit, and then go outside to work some more magic, have some more businesses, and get back to work. With that said, thank you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one. See ya.